Okay, for the final lesson on the Darkling Thrush, we are going to stick to the questions. As you can see, this was a question that came in the 2019 IC paper. Okay, before I move to that, just a little thought. I hope you've gone through what we discussed the other day, and mm, if you have any doubts, please, like I always mention, please do write in. Um you can mail or you can put it in the comment section. I'll revisit. While I was mulling over it one more time. uh, I don't know, I just felt that the hope that the thrush stands for is the faith that one needs to keep intact within oneself. So probably that hope is always there, that faith, one should not just abjure it, give it up because it's being questioned. If you believe in something, that something is you should hold on to. So that probably is also what Thomas Hardy realizes at the very end, that I sort of became so desolate and weak and giving up on life, left his writing his novels, moved to poetry, but perhaps uh, the questions that the Industrial Revolution was asking, what Darwin was asking, what John Stuart Mill was asking, those were questions that had different answers, but that did not mean that the truth that I realized becomes redundant. Yes, they are different truths that exist, right? They're certain that you believe, so some truths that I believe. And the song of the thrush indicates that. Yes, that truths will be there simultaneously, can coexist. So coexistence is important, living together is important, oneness is important, compatibility is important, and there is hope, right? All right. So the first question, yes, referring closely to the poem "The Darkling Thrush," answer the following. This is in three parts. Describe the bleak picture of the day as described by the poet. Very clear, the first two stanzas. See, when you get the part questions, you know that this is the material that I'm going to use for the first one, this is what I'm going to use for the second, and probably I'm going to find out what we are going to do for the third. So the description of winter, bleakness, the trees, the frost-like, ghost-like figure, the fire that has kept people inside, nobody outside, the the gate, the stems, then you have the crypt, the entire image of the funeral that is coming about, everything, the seed which is dry and hard, lifeless, so there is no scope of anything new coming up. That is your first 8 marks. B. How does the atmosphere suddenly change at once? Begin with the element of surprise and suddenness. At once, and the thrush comes in. Okay, now be careful. Look into the third question. What are the poet's feelings at the end of the poem? So, your question B is based on your third stanza, right? Third stanza, when you're going to talk about the song and the detailing of the thrush. So when you write details about the thrush being old and frail and small, and his plumes are all dried under the cold wintry winds, yet like the full-throated song that comes from his soul, in the very soul, the pith of his existence, which has come out. Yes, that. And then that is your 6 marks. Your C part, what are the poet's feelings at the end of the poem? Poet, what are the feelings? From where? Out of nowhere, the bleakness around. What has the thrush seen that he's broken into a song? Where is beauty around? Where is happiness? Where are the elements of joy that the thrush is singing? What has he found here to sing? Those are the questions that the poet asks in the last stanza. I can't see anything. And then he says uh, that I could think they tremble through his happy good night air, some blessed hope whereof he knew and I was unaware. So that is it. So here you talk about, Hardy brings up the idea of hope. Hope, which is a part of religion, remember? That religion, perhaps this listening to the song has been a religious experience for him. Yes, it's like the evening prayers. When you chant the evening prayers, you hear the song. You go to the mosque, you hear the imam saying the evening prayer. You go to a temple, you have the evening prayer, the in the Ramakrishna Math, or uh, you go to the Swaminarayan temple, you have the evening prayers. You have the traditional of the evening mass in churches. You have the evening prayers in Gurudwara. I'm sure in every home where there is a tulsi, in the evening the woman of the house will go and light a lamp and chant a prayer. So the evening prayer is like introduces the theme of revival of religion amidst the questioning attitude of rational scientific thoughts that have crept during the Victorian age. Yes, and you see is happy, some blessed hope. Hope again, you see, sorry I didn't mention it. I think hope again is personified, human-like figure. You can take it as whoever you for you stands as hope. That human like figure is the sign of optimism, sign of rejuvenation, sign of regeneration. Yes, and some blessed hope whereof he knew. So you see the bird, all through the poem, Thrush has been given a masculine gender. The bird has seen that hope, which the bird has seen the hope which he hasn't. Yes, so that is what he wants to highlight. The bird has seen the hope, I haven't seen it, and that is what I want to see. That those are the feelings at the end of the poem, which makes it so powerful. There is hope, and that is what the thrush is aware of, which he should also keep in mind, looking forward to the new century that is coming up. Right? Okay. We move to we move to the next question, question 2, which is a 20-mark question. How has Thomas Hardy used nature to depict both the hopelessness and hope in his poem? Again, hopelessness is the first two stanzas, winter, everything dying, and then the hope that the thrush brings it. Direct question, break it up into two. First, identify what hopelessness stands for, the winter, what hope stands for, the thrush. Give the break it up, give the symbols, and then start discussing the poem. Yes. If you see question 3, a simple songbird changes the mood in the poem The Darkling Thrush by Thomas Hardy from one of despair to one of hope. Give your views on the statement. Yes. Can you see? Now you can see it. Sorry, there was some difficulty with light. A simple songbird changes the mood in the poem The Darkling Thrush by Thomas Hardy from one of despair to one of hope. Give your views on this statement. Again, you see, each time you just have a different start to your answer. So the theme of Hardy, you can start with Hardy's dilemma, Hardy's skepticism, Hardy's cynicism, Hardy's questioning the changes that the Victorian age is bringing, questioning the changes of his own thoughts and his pain, his doubt, and then you can move from despair to hope. Right? Have I written? Yeah, one more question. How is the poem The Darkling Thrush by Thomas Hardy a critique of nature? How is it a critique of nature? Because winter is a part of nature, the bird is also a part of nature. Nature moves in a cycle. Yes. So probably nature shows us where there is despair, there is also hope. Where there is a cyclone, there will also be tomorrow, the sun will be out, the water will dry, the trees which have broken will, new shoots will come up, new seeds will be planted. nature follows a cycle. So that cycle is what this poem is all about. In this context, highlight the communication between man and nature as depicted. So nature communicates to man that there is despair. But how will man see it? Because that very nature will also show man that there is hope. So here, that is what mm, that is what the poet is showing us, that there is in nature there is despair. It is how we see it, yes, and in nature there is hope, how we recognize it. So it is for us to understand and appreciate what nature, the realities that nature shows to us, and also the full faith that nature wants us to uphold and keep. And that comes through brilliantly in this poem, Thomas Hardy, The Darkling Thrush. Right? So, that is our lesson for today. Like I said, it's going to be a short lesson, just a discussion. I hope uh, you have understood it. Thrush stands for the hope, for that faith, for the belief that the new century, a new day, a new spring will always bring to us. That's something which we as human beings, the poet in this poem, perhaps is allowing himself to forget, allowing ourselves to weaken under the pressures of what life is dealing out to us. But we have to remember, like the thrush, having faith, the old thrush who believes that there is hope. Hope cannot die. Tomorrow, like Scarlett O'Hara has said in Gone with the Wind, tomorrow is another day. I shall see you again. Take care, stay safe, and happy reading. Bye.